Hey guys and gals, what's happening? This is your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft. I'm just lighting my tea candles here. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well. I love tea candles. They're cool. And I love doing these after dark series because I'm kind of unwinding. Really? Come on. Guess this little dude's running out of gas. Well, okay. This is funny. The beauty of doing live. I should have brought up the electric. All right. Guys, hang tight. I'm going to grab my electric one. Hold on. All right, here's my trusty electric one. It's got a little thing where you just move this right here and you just press that red button. It's the electric one. Puts a little charge. There we go. The trusty little electric dude. That's funny. So I've got those going. My tea light. Now time to get my wind chimes going. That was pretty funny. These must have ran out of fluid. I don't know, man. This one. It's. I'm looking at the line. Oh, I ain't gonna worry about it. Everything's lit. But this works. This will probably work every time because as long as you keep it charged. Here, let me show you guys the little charge thing. This is pretty cool. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So. Yeah, the beauty of going live. The beauty of going live. I also got my bowl of fruit with me. Oh, man. So I got me some mineral water. flavored carbonated mineral water, lime. And then already drank the bad stuff earlier today. We got some brisk iced tea. Brother Brett, what's up? Brother Brett in the house. See you on our blogs. I try to do that. The live streams I do, I try to show people's comments. All right, I grabbed 3 books really quick. Surviving the Extreme Elements by Kenneth Calmer. Once again, it's Surviving the Extreme Elements. He's MD. And this is a culmination of different authors. It's a large survival guide. And yeah, there's the different authors there. So this is a combination of different authors. And once again, it's a large survival book. And these are the different authors there. And last but not least, Cody Lundy book. When All Hell Breaks Loose, Stuff You Need to Survive When Disaster Strikes. And he's also the author, Cody Lundy. And that's what the author looks like. That's what Cody Lundy looks like there. I like the quote he's got here at the bottom. This is, "Be prepared, not scared." So if any of you guys have seen Dual Survivor, Cody Lundy and Dave Canterbury, this is Cody Lundy here, and Dave Canterbury, they show up on a few Dual Survivor episodes, which are really cool. And I want to say one time they pretended their car broke down and they were surviving out in the desert. And that was a pretty cool Dual Survivor show. And Dave Canterbury is he runs a survival school in Ohio, but he also has a store here in Indiana. And it's really cool to walk through that. It's really cool to walk through the Self-Reliance Outfitter store. And yeah, they got all kinds of knives and axes and hatchets and camping gear. So I just recently went to a different place that wasn't a survival store. It was called Camp World. And they had about every kind of favorite camping thing you could think to snap up or grab up. So, and one of the things I've learned from books like these, and also from large survival manuals like these, is human beings have to maintain a core temperature. It's it's really imperative that we keep our core temperature, and that's why shelter building is important. That's why building a shelter is important, and also that's why knowing how to build a campfire is important, because those are the things that can could actually help you in a survival situation. Because your body core temperature is only allowed to get so low, and of course the shelter keeps you from the elements. So whether it's a cold element or whether it's a hot element. The shelter either way is going to keep you, like let's say you're in a hot environment and you at least put some kind of cover above you to give you some shade. That shade automatically is probably going to drop it down to 10 degrees, or it's probably going to feel at least 10 degrees cooler than what you were standing in. I know sometimes, hey, what's up, Gear Boy TV? I know in some survival situations, they, these are the books I showed off here. Kenneth Calmer, Surviving the Extremes. And this was the Ultimate Survival Guide that had different authors' names on it here. And then here's the one with the author's picture on it, Cody Lundeen. That's Cody Lundeen right there. And this one's called When All Hell Breaks Loose. I guess he's also the author of 96 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive was his other book. So, once again, Cody Lundy was on Dual Survivor with, this is Cody Lundy, and he was on Dual Survivor with Dave Canterbury. So, yeah, it's open chat tonight. But like I said, what I've learned from books like this, and also from the survival manual here, the main thing I've learned is it's so important to keep your core temperature. So important to keep your core temperature doing good. And here comes Gear Boy.
Hello, everyone.
What's happening, Gear Boy?
How's it going, brother?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry Boy. What's happening, Jerry Boy?
I
think
people
what happens,
calling me
I read
Gary Boy.
No, but I keep reading your. I realized that one stream I read your thing totally wrong. I read it. How I kept saying gear, and then it wasn't until I got off the stream that I realized I had. Oh my God! I realized I had just messed up your. Yeah, I kept calling your wrong channel. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I get called Gary Boy all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think
and it's Jerry Boy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's Jerry Boy, but I think in that last live stream I was with you on, or last time you were here on my live stream, I kept saying Gear Boy, and it wasn't until after I got off I go, no, it says Gary Boy. So how do you like it pronounced?
You can call me anything. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go. Now, how do you pronounce it so I know how to pronounce it?
Jerry, like Tom and Jerry. Jerry Boy, except with a G.
Jerry Boy TV.
Capital G.
Capital G. I like it.
So how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had
good.
Had a good work day. Part of the reason I hadn't done live in a little bit is I was waiting for it to do its reset. And it reset it because I'm on the free plan, the free stream plan. So I waited. Yeah, on StreamYard. And yeah, I could have made other emails, but I just like being honest, Cat. Hey, what's up, Sean?
Hi, Sean T. Uber. Was it Uber or Uber? Yeah, Uber, it's Uber.
I think, hey, Sean, did you finally get to do a stream? Because I probably didn't get to catch it. He says, hey, Jared.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Sean, you're a good guy.
He is a good guy.
There's a lot of good people on here.
His bird's really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's why I hadn't done one in a while. I was waiting for it to reset, and it did. And, yeah, tonight's just going to be an open chat as people roll in. I started talking about these books a little bit, and then
Oh, surviving.
yeah, and I started telling people the reason why it's important to build a shelter.
Survival.
Yeah, why I was telling them why it's important to build
Yeah,
a shelter.
because it could be a zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse. You never know.
yeah, there you go. And
But
you
you
know
don't
what?
know, do you?
No one knows. But I will say that I will say
Joe,
this.
it's,
Right.
don't
I will.
panic.
Yeah, I know. I will say this. You know, there's this one show that purely runs the numbers, and um, I liked what this retired Air Force colonel said. His nickname is Nothing Fancy. That's the name of his YouTube channel. And he says people don't know what they're really asking for, especially the ones who prepped the whole time and are acting like they would want stuff to happen just so they could use their supplies and stuff. And he was saying those kind of people are in a fantasy land.
Yeah, it's like
That
the
you really
nuclear family.
right. You really he goes, you really do not want without rule of law. He said people that he goes, they don't know what they're yeah. But anyways, that's funny you should mention that because sometimes they tackle subjects like that in these books. And but like I said, people should try really hard to always keep rule of law going on. You but more than I think what would cause without rule of law, I think what would really cause it would probably be a natural disaster more than anything else, or maybe a
Yeah,
human being really slipping up really bad, and that could spark it.
and spreading the virus.
Yeah, or
And
a
then
weird
it'd be like doomsday.
or like a weird virus. Yeah, but you know what's weird? Now that enough of us are getting vaccinated, I think they're starting, and I forgot to hear the announcement that came out from Biden. I think he was going to make a special announcement, and so I'll have to. I listen to the local news all the time when I drive into work, and they were talking about that, and I really should have probably tuned in and heard what that next announcement was. Some states have lowered their mask mandate. Uh, where I work at, they haven't do that. They still require to have masks in the building. But what's cool is if you're working in the office by yourself, you're not required to have the mask on. It's just that when you start going in common areas, they ask you to put it back on. And then, of course, when you're outside, you don't have to wear one when you're outside. But
Can I be totally honest with you? The
yeah,
masks do not work. They do not work. They're not going to keep a virus out. And masks, you can still. I mean, I don't know.
oh well,
Masks do not work.
well. The only reason I wear two masks is both of them are cloth. If I had and I think I do have an N95, but it's kind of tough to breathe in it. So what I did is I just used two cloth masks because I
You
wanted
get a
to still be
mask that you
comfortable
can't
breathing.
breathe in. If you get a mask you cannot breathe in,
Yeah,
that'll work. But then you'd be dead.
yeah. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, what's neat is some of the states, like I said, some of the states don't make it a requirement now. And what's weird is some of the states have had less infection rate, which is kind of trippy. But I think sometimes it's due to the different climates in the different states. So I think they're trying to figure that one out. But like I said, the experts won't come up with a number where you can totally get rid of all the masks. I mean, you think there would be a number they're waiting for to say, all right, you guys don't need to wear the mask anymore. So, but like I said, a lot of people have gotten, the vaccine. So it'll be interesting. I think the more and more people, and I wonder if we're going to take the vaccine like once a year, like we do with the flu. But
Yeah.
what's amazing, people have been dying from the flu for the longest time, and we've never closed down economies or stopped people from gathering in places. So that's what I find so amazing is they really put the clamps on stuff when we were going through this. So, but yeah, hopefully when most of the world gets vaccinated, then maybe there'll be a number they'll get happy with, and they'll get rid of the mask thing.
Yeah, I ain't taking the injection. I don't
Yeah.
trust that injection. I'm not taking
Well,
that.
I like what one Marine said. The first people to take it are the kind. Well, actually, the first people who took it were the people in the trials, and then the second people to take it is going to be your regular public, or the second round of folks that are taking it. And so far, they've had good results with them. From what I understand, at least with the one I received, which is the Pfizer one, what I understand, it's technology that's been used before, but supposedly how it's supposed to work is like, especially if you got the Pfizer one, supposedly what happens if you
Excuse me.
come across it, it's supposed to recognize it and then help your body fight it, right? And it's supposed
Yeah.
to lessen the severity of it if you do catch it. And I think the flu vaccine works the same way. It doesn't necessarily stop you from getting it, but what it can do is lessen the severity of it. And I think that's why people do different types of vaccines for stuff.
And the government can track you because they've injected you with a grain of
Mm.
sugar, which enables them to track you.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's why
Right.
I will not take the injection
Yeah, that's
because I
cool.
believe.
Well, there's some people that are actually allergic to medications, and so those people they can't. But then you have people that don't take it at all, and the only bad thing about having a group of people like that is uh, the virus can mutate in populations like that. They can get different mutations, but still, the people who are vaccinated will be safe because you know.
So we'll not be able to take the injection. We don't need to take the injection if everybody else is taking it.
Well, part of the reason that motivated me to get it is I saw the people who had the worst cases of COVID, and
Oh, have you had the
man,
injection?
no, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I've had both Pfizer shots. Thanks,
All right. Did
but
you like feel ill like the first
all
24 hours?
the first shot I got, all I got was a sore arm for 2 days, and that's it. And I get that with the flu
Yeah.
shot. And then the second one, I didn't get anything at all. Now I had two
All right.
buddies. I had two buddies that took different shots. They took the Moderna, and on both their second shot on Moderna, they both felt like they had the flu for a couple of days. So, and then I had a buddy that took the Johnson and Johnson. That's the one shot one, and he was sick for like 4 days.
I mean, I think it's everybody has different reactions to stuff.
Well, they're wanting, like the people who did get it and then got over it, like hit the flu. There's some people. There's those group of people. I think some of them are thinking, well, I got it, got over it. I have the antibodies now. Do I really need to go get the shot? So I could understand the ones who maybe got over it themselves, and maybe they thinking they don't need to do it then, because they already got the antibodies. So, but
Yeah.
but like I said,
I
what
mean,
motivated me the most to go do it is I saw those people that were really sick, like had the bad version, and that motivated me to go do it. Uh,
no, I
yeah,
mean, if you have to take it, take it.
yeah. Oh, I don't think
It's
people should.
definitely a good
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah. I don't think people should be forced to take it though. Just because I received it doesn't mean, or just because I made the choice to get vaccinated. I think it should be volunteer. People, yeah. I don't think people should be forced to take vaccines.
I mean, it was just my birthday in the 25th of April, and I'm like 52. I feel
Right.
old. I
Well,
feel old.
I'm 50 something as well, and since I'm
50
not in the
something.
best, since
50 something.
since I'm not in the best shape either, since
Yeah.
I'm not in the best shape either, that's the other reason I did it. Because people that ran into COVID, that weren't in such good shape, sometimes they would accidentally get the bad COVID. So,
Oh, I.
um, but yeah, it's weird, man. For some reason, women don't get it as bad as men do. It's really weird. And then what the other thing that scared me is when some 30-year-olds got it and end up dying. So I was like, holy shit. So, but these are like the worst cases. The majority of people, I guess, get it and get over it, just like they would the flu.
Yeah,
So,
I reckon we're going to get back to normal. I reckon
yeah.
we're going to get back to normal.
Yeah. And then the wild thing is people still die from the flu. So actually people die from other things than instead of COVID. More people die from, probably heart disease and other things. So, but yeah, we don't close the whole. Well, we don't close the world for heart disease or lung disease either. So.
No, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll get back to normal and everything will be good and it'll be back to the way it used to be. Yeah,
what I didn't realize is the scientists are expecting other pandemics to come down the road. I guess it goes in cycles. So maybe the fact that one's hit us, maybe I won't see one in my lifetime again. So that'd be nice.
Well, that's good. That is good.
Yeah,
you don't want to see it in your lifetime again because this is like shut everybody down for the last year? Ish. It's been bad. I mean, it's like businesses have closed down, shops have, what's been going on in America.
Well, I think people are
getting smashed. This Black Lives Matter. Well, I don't want to get into that.
I think people are watching the numbers closely, to where they'll, as the numbers get better and better, I think you're gonna see more people demand things get lifted and things get back to normal.
Yeah, I think a good summer.
Yeah, I think that'll. But but not only that, there's a thing called COVID fatigue where people are kind of telling their local, state, and that they're ready for things to be lifted. But like I said, Florida got lifted, and what's happening, James? Yeah, Florida got lifted.
How can I not see the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the comments. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah.
What's happening, dudes? Sean T. Uber. You got your vax today. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Cool, Sean.
That's good, Sean. I'm sorry, I didn't have it on the comment section, so I was not ignoring anybody. I do apologise.
Oh, that's cool.
I keep forgetting StreamYard's different.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks for the support. But so what? How was your day today, or what time is it over there?
It's almost 3:46 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, what time is it there?
It's like just say 3:45 in the morning.
Oh wow! Yeah, and here it's 10:48 in the evening. Wow!
But you see, that's the thing I like about this. Is different time zones, and you can speak to so many different people.
10:46 in the evening here. Wow! Holy mackerel!
But yeah, I'm a night owl.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like that someone pointed that out. And it's probably true for me. I didn't start doing this live stream until the kind of in the middle of the pandemic. But it's cool. I got to learn a lot of Filipino live streams. That's a trip. And then I've got to check out other live streams as well. So it's kind of wild.
That's okay. I've been giving you a shout out constantly. Don't you worry. You'll get more people coming in.
Look out. That's cool. Oh, and that's another thing.
I did you a shout out earlier on.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Brett, he gives a shout out to. That's part of the reason I don't promote it. I've had plenty of people will let people know when I'm live. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. No, I like to support people. That's just the way YouTube is. And to be honest, I think YouTube don't like people promoting other people, which is stupid because it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, some of the, and it's so funny, the YouTubers try to really juggle, especially when YouTube comes out with different guidelines. It's definitely a juggle for the YouTube channels, particularly the smaller channels. I think the bigger channels seem to deal with it just fine. But when
Oh,
you're a
sorry for
smaller,
the bigger
yeah,
channels, but I'm a small channel. How
yeah,
the hell am I going to survive?
yeah. The small channels, I sense the small channels through more. I sense the small channels jump through more hoops than the bigger channels. Or let's just say this: I think the bigger channels have more of a cushion whenever they change the rules on the YouTube community.
Yeah, I ain't no Jacksepticeye.
Yeah, but of course, I'm doing it as a hobby, but I'm hoping to turn it into something later down the road. I mean, right now I have my real day job, but I am hoping to turn it something later down the road. So
Yeah,
that's
but the
my
thing is, though, I mean, I mean, your channel's good. If you get to where you at now? What
I'm at
numbers are you at?
I'm at 600 and something and some change,
Wow.
and then
See if you get to 1,000
yeah,
and you get to make a wee bit of extra
yeah,
money, there's nothing wrong with that. But you do need to declare it though if you make so much money.
right.
Um,
Ellie's got 700 and something now, but he's really been jumping on it. Where me, I
Sean,
just been or Ellie's vlogs adventure, he's got 700 and something. Sean Tuber says he's a baby channel.
that's all right. I'll support you. I'll get you more people. Don't worry.
Yeah. Um, well, I got two. Now I'm not going to say I don't do any promotion at all for my channel. I got two Facebook pages that I run. That promotes my channel, and then I also have a Twitter handle that promotes my channel as well. So
I had Twitter, but
yeah,
I get banned off it. I don't know why you get banned off Twitter because I never done nothing. I
oh
get banned. Would you believe it? I get banned off Twitter.
that's weird.
Why? You're asking me. I do not know.
Yeah, all I do is I don't do a lot of tweets. I'll post my videos there to Twitter, and then maybe occasionally I'll make a comment on Twitter, but it's more about camping and survival. And uh, with some of my YouTube videos, I have addressed a few political things, but not super political. Um, it I don't know. I think it's because of the two faiths I grew up in. I mean, I grew up in the Catholic faith the longest, but then I also, uh, when I became a young adult, I became a member of the Baha'i faith. And the Baha'is are you're urged to be involved in your community, but you're also urged not to get marred into politics really bad. But you're still encouraged to participate fully as a citizen. But because sometimes politics can be really debased and kind of void of compassion. So, uh,
Hello, Adrian Gibson. Sorry,
Adrian
didn't
in
mean
the
to cut you
house.
off.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, I think from the Baha'i perspective, it's to help out humanity, but at the same time, still try to stay involved in. But what's funny, I do like the exchange of ideas in politics. It's weird though. In my dad's time, it seemed to be not so polarized, but now the way politics is now, it seems to be hyper polarized, which is a trip. When what's funny on the other channels, they won't touch on the other live streams I visit. They will not touch politics at all, and I know why, because it can be people get pretty passionate about it. I want to say it's gotten so wild, the politic thing, that people almost treat it like a religion almost.
and people get
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
And that's another thing they won't touch on the live streams. That they usually won't touch the subject of religion either, because people, really internalize religion and take it super personal. But I still like the exchange of ideas, because I do think, especially when America was first formed, I want to say the founding fathers of America were almost like, I want to say the term deist, meaning they definitely were swept up in logic and reason. And so I'm just so grateful how the founding fathers were, because it's almost like they could read the future. It was really weird. Um, they definitely saw a need for a separation of church and state, and it was really cool how they. It's amazing how they formed the new government of the United States. It's just, and I'm not saying the United States. I mean, we can learn things from other countries as well. I mean, especially like Switzerland. Switzerland's really cool. I mean, there's some other countries that I think we can learn from. Um, I think Japan's a really cool country. But anyways, what's really fascinating is it's still a living experiment ongoing. The United States is, and it's an idea. It has ideals. I think America is still trying to live up to its American ideals that's written in the Constitution. I do get a little nervous when politicians want to change the Constitution or mess with anything in the Bill of Rights. That kind of makes me nervous, because the founding fathers had set those things. Um, they, I think they were hoping future generations would follow that as a guidance. But anyways,
Politicians.
yeah. Well, no,
I don't want to start in politicians.
yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know. There's some forms of government that are like a parliament. They have their good and bad sides. Uh, but what's so amazing about the engine of capitalism is, I mean, I know there's a greed side to it, but it's amazing how fast an economy can grow. But at the same time, all governments do have to worry about their expenditures and stuff. Greece was a good example of when you give too much free stuff to your citizens, and that's when Greece got in economic trouble, and then they had to, they got in so bad economic trouble they had to go to the world community and ask for help, and so these world communities, I'm glad they helped Greece out. They started giving Greece money, get their economy back up and running. But then they started taking away some of the free stuff they were giving away to their citizens. And of course, their citizens went nuts because they got used to getting free stuff. So, but yeah, I guess governments have to worry about that. You have to strike a balance between how much, what stuff's okay to give away for a while. And it's every country has that. But I also think a country's judged by how they treat their most vulnerable too, though. I can't, I know a lot of Americans, they don't mind their taxes going to helping the less fortunate, the real less fortunate, not someone that just doesn't want to work. A lot of Americans don't have tolerance for that. I mean, if the person just goes, "Oh, I'm gonna eat bonbons and stay home and not work." I mean, that's okay if you saved up the cash to do that. But then if you want someone else to pay for it, a lot of Americans aren't up for that. So, but then there's people that have legit breakdowns in their mental capacity. So, or people get into addictions and stuff like that. So, there are some legit reasons why they do fall into an even more. Yeah, I mean, I guess, and not only that, everyone's probably one accident away from becoming dependent on something else. So, but yeah, it's interesting how the different governments deal with how they take care of their less fortunate. So, But like I said, like I'm a taxpayer, and I I definitely would want to see my taxes to take care of people that are less fortunate than myself, you know. Because but what's funny is since you got people that try to game the system, it ends up hurting those people that really need resources. So, uh, but yeah, but like I said, I think that's, I don't know, my dad just raised me to work hard and play hard. And there's this country song that I really love. I think it's by Charlie's Daniels Band. Leave this long-haired country hippie boy alone. Leave this long-haired country boy alone. And in the song, it talks about how he's self-sufficient. He works, you know, everything he has, he works for, and he doesn't ask the government for anything. And um, yeah, I just think that's so important to be. And I think when you do pay for your own way, I think there's a sense of pride and accomplishment when you are paying your own way. But like I said,
Oh, definitely, definitely.
but like I said, I don't mind my dollars going to people that really need resources. You know.
Yeah, you see, I don't mind like paying money to charities. I think they need the help, but the thing is, like donating money to like things in Africa, do they actually get that money? Because I believe like they don't get that money. It doesn't go to them.
You know,
I
I'm right.
you know.
I'm when I look at the continent of Africa, I'm shocked about all the how Africa is all divided up into all these different countries, and the history is a trip. And then also, you know, the history of there used to be a joke about the British Empire. At one time, the sun never really set on it because it covered 94% of the globe. And it was wild the thinking of the British Empire because it was going around conquering all these countries and you know, really colonializing them, right? And same thing with the Dutch. They went and you know, and so um, it's wild when you do have to. Yeah, it just blows me away. Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Hi, fellow Norris, how you doing, brother? How you going? Oh,
So
you having a
anyway,
good day?
I'm very fascinated. I got another book that called Guns, Germs, maybe something else in the title. But I am fascinated with history, and then I also am concerned when history ever repeats itself. So, and of course, I'm fascinated with these kind of books too. You know,
Surviving the
yeah,
extremes.
yeah. So I'm fascinated with these books.
What about survival and zombie apocalypse?
Yep. Well, like I said, more than likely it'll be a natural. More than likely,
Yeah.
instead of like in the case of this, you know, sometimes I think the powers that be like to do test runs. I would like to not think that that's what this is. At least
What
God,
about Resident Evil?
at least God, I hope not. Yeah. Uh, well,
Umbrella Corporation.
I like what George Carlin said. You know, it's amazing that George Carlin, he
Thank you
really,
very much. Out to follow notice.
yeah. I didn't know my dad wasn't a fan of George Carlin, and cool.
Oh, thanks
Thanks.
very much,
Yeah, I'm not a
Ben
fan.
Carbonell.
Yeah, I didn't know my dad's not a fan of George Carlin,
Thank you very
but
much.
he said a lot of things. He said a lot of gnarly things against the establishment, and he used to say that America was bought a long time ago by behind the scene powers, and he used to say the reason we have politicians is to give us a sense of power, you know, the vote. He said that's just to make, but you know what? There is a famous name called the Bilderbergs. I don't know if you ever heard of that family, but I guess politicians are
Yeah.
forbidden to even meet with the Bilderbergs. And I guess because they're one of the families that kind of pulls strings behind the scenes. And so that's kind of a trip. And then Netflix has all kinds of different secret societies and how they even try to pull strings behind the scenes, which is a trip.
Do you
But
think? Do you think there's secret societies?
I think well, what's funny is it's funny they're not too secret if they're being thrown on Netflix, but
It's
uh,
not,
I
it's
I
not a
think
great secret.
right that's what I'm saying. It kind of blowing me away. Um, some of them. There's this one guy who wrote a book called The Family, and I think I saw it on Netflix too. But the neat thing about
Netflix, the way to go.
the neat thing about this guy that I guess uh, some of the people that are still involved with the thing called the family, the guy that wrote a book on him, of course, is not part of the family anymore, or wasn't really part of the family, anyways. But I think it started off with this one guy who has ministered to previous presidents all the time, like was his spiritual guide, and supposedly the whole point of this group that's called themselves, I don't even think they call themselves the family, but what's neat, or for the sake of argument, let's just call them the family. Anyways, this guy has been the spiritual, he's a Christian, but he's been the spiritual guide of past presidents and stuff. Would be
Oh, thanks
come up
very
and
much.
join
I
these two
appreciate
great
that.
fellows. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
I'm not that great, but
so,
I'll take the
so
compliment.
yeah. So anyways, what this Christian guy noticed, and what this Christian guy noticed,
Blessings to you
since
as well.
presidents have to make major decisions in their in the nation's history, and he didn't just minister to presidents; he also ministered to congressmen and stuff. Anyways, I guess he saw the big responsibility these people play in government in the United States. So he thought there was a need for them to come together, and so they have this thing called a prayer breakfast, which they still do once a year, I think, the prayer breakfast, and it brings all these people together that have pretty high government influence. But I think he's trying to minister to all these, and I think he finally passed away. That guy that. Yeah, that's the guy. I think the religious
Well,
leaders are. Politicians. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
but anyways, I think the thinking of this guy was, um, since these people are influencing a lot of people's lives, and they come in contact with world leaders also, right? So there have been stories where, like I guess in the case of Gaddafi, uh, some some of our leaders, or two of them, were over there that weren't over there because our government sent them. They just showed up on their own, and it made this one country go, why? I think it was Gaddafi's government. He's like, why are you two guys
Cleaning
here?
up.
And they weren't even officially there for the United States, but they were two politicians.
What does T stand for, Sean? What does T stand for?
Yeah,
You mentioned it. What does the T stand for?
What does T stand for, Sean?
What does it stand for?
But yeah, that. But I think that it's on Netflix, and I believe it's called The Family. It's very interesting.
Oh, I've got Netflix.
But yeah, I think politicians do need to be administered to, But I mean, God, it's wild. They set policy for Like if they're a state representative, they're setting policy for the state. And then, of course, if they get higher, they're setting policy at the federal level. So it's important stuff. But what's funny is
So if
sometimes something.
anybody's got Netflix out there, watch Tiger King. Fantastic.
Oh my God, my daughter hooked me on Tiger King. It was really.
Do you know,
really
I
cool.
never heard of the guy until somebody mentioned it to me. And I'm like, what? This
Oh,
guy tried to get somebody killed.
Oh my God, it's unreal. I watched it to the very end. It was crazy. Definitely crazy.
So
But yeah.
where is he now, Tiger King? What's his name? I forgot his name.
What is his name?
Joe,
Oh, Joe something.
I can't remember, but it's Joe something.
Yeah, it's yeah. If anyone has not seen the
can't
Tiger
remember.
King, they should go check it out.
I would love to have. Hold on a minute. That's a small right near. I'm not getting young. I don't know how it is. Jerry Boy TV. Well, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. My eyes aren't the best.
Cool.
52 years old, by the way, into 2050 there. I'm 52.
Look out.
So, Bushcraft and good heart. Co-host, oh, thank you. Co-host. I wouldn't say I'm the best co-host, but I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm
That's
okay.
funny.
I mean,
That's a cool compliment.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's just
there's a pretty
very
awesome
long.
Yeah, there's a pretty awesome live stream community.
Yeah.
There's
And this is
pretty
the second time I've actually been on Lone Wolf Bushcraft. Fantastic Shadow Good. The subscribe is fantastic. This is the second time I've been live. It's the second time I've been live, isn't it? Yes.
He says it stands for transportation. Hey, maybe it does stand for transportation. That's what he says the T stands for, transportation. Man, I actually watched a show where it showed the different things Uber drivers deal with.
Oh, Uber drivers.
It's wild some of the personalities they pick up.
And I bet you there's been
It's a trip.
Lots of stuff going on with the Uber drivers that pick personalities up. I'd like to.
Oh,
I'd like
oh
to
my
know what
God.
happens.
It's a crazy. It's crazy some of the stuff they deal with. It's really wild.
Father's Day is June 20th. TSC viewers will have a blast with 3 of views. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. With us too.
I'm a proud papa. My daughter's 20 something and she's got an awesome job straight out of college. She graduated from the Kelley School of Business. I'm so proud of her. And what's funny is
you should be proud.
The only reason she's still here is because of the pandemic. So we set up an office in her bedroom. But the girl's my daughter's just really smart. Just a smart girl.
What's TSC viewers? I don't know. Got me there.
Andrew's cool. I'm shocked that Andrew's not coming up.
Come on.
Maybe I
people.
should post
Join the chat. I mean, I'm making an effort. It's like early in the morning here, 12 minutes past 4.
Let me post it here.
Oh, what is it with bed sheets that come off? There you go. Come on, join. Have a good laugh. Have a chat.
Talk show classic.
For sure, classic. Let's just say that.
I used to watch a lot of talk shows, and that's used to how I wanted to run my live, is in like a talk show format.
David
Kind of,
Letterman.
yeah, there you go.
David Letterman was brilliant. I used to watch him all the time, man. He was
Oh,
fantastic.
I love that Scottish dude that shows his tattoo. It's of the kind of the snake of oh man, it's that yellow flag. Oh, anyways, it's a yellow flag that they probably had during Civil War times, but it's oh man. Anyways, it has to do with guns, and it's a yellow flag. And this Scottish guy who became a new American, he had the tattoo put on his arm, and he was another guy who. Oh, there we go. Here's the.
Oh, we got
There
somebody
he
killing
is.
that.
All right, there he is, the man himself, Mr. Andrew in the house.
What's up, guys?
What's
Hello.
up, Andrew?
Hey, Jerry, what's
How
up?
you doing? I'm
guys hear
doing
me?
good. Fantastic. How you doing?
What are we talking about?
It's a open chat, and I mentioned two guys that had just what was his name? He did a late night talk show. He was a Scottish guy, stand up comedian.
Oh,
Anyways, I was talking about his tattoo he put on
Don't
his
Billy
arm.
Connolly, is it?
kind of talking
No, can't be
about.
Billy
He's really good with the women. Kind of.
Yeah. He's always flirting with the women when they're on his talk show. What is his name? He's a Scots guy.
God damn.
Scottish guy, and he did awesome on the late night talk show circuit. And he was a Scottish guy. What is it
the
called?
heck?
Honestly, I'm Scottish and I don't know who the hell it is.
Oh,
That's
that's
bad.
why I wanted to tell you about him. Who's the? Oh, that's the countdown. I love it.
No, this is someone messaging me, and it's like
It's the final countdown.
that includes you. Or if I include it. Yeah, I don't mind doing. You know.
What is it? Oh, it's not. Oh,
And I'm sure it's like someone asked me to come up on Marty and them asked me go meet me on Mother's Day and stuff. I'm like, I go to help you guys out on Mother's Day. I won't come back on Mother's Day. You know, my mother will kill me. I always have a tradition with my mother of having a big seafood
you
dinner.
ought to stick with that, dude. Yeah, I lost my mom this past July.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And she was just 71, dude. And I think what finally took her was she should have never started up with the cigarettes. I honestly believe she'd still be with us if she didn't read. And what's weird, dude, before she took up the cigarettes again, or I think when she was like 50 or 60, might have been in her late 50s, early 60s, they ran a thing up her leg to break up the blockages in her heart. And then the heart guy said, hey, if you never take up smoking again, those blockages shouldn't come back, right? And so she didn't smoke for a good little while and was breathing healthy. And then she started dating a new guy. And then I don't know when in the relationship she started smoking with him, but she took smoking back up. He didn't force her to. She just asked for a cigarette one day. But anyways, I think that's what shortened my mom's life. But you know what? My mom really enjoyed her smokes. What's fun? Oh, she before she passed away in last July, a year ago, before last July, she couldn't drive anymore, and so because she totaled her car, she didn't get hurt when she totaled her car, but she couldn't afford to fix it. So me and my brother had to take her to lunch and dinner. We had to switch off and on, taking her to lunch and dinner. And I made a few YouTube videos of us enjoying breakfast a lot and also lunch sometimes. So now I can look back at those YouTube videos, and if I want to hear my mom's voice, I'm so grateful I did that. And I did that just to share with my YouTube audience, me chilling out with my mom. And I'm so grateful I did that, because now if I want to hear her voice, I can play those videos back. Sorry,
That's
I didn't.
nice.
I don't. When I bring up my mom passing, I don't bring it as because I used to make my mom laugh so hard, Andrew, after we had a really good lunch. I love making my mom laugh so hard she could hardly breathe.
Thanks,
And she would say, JR, stop, stop, stop. But I love making my dad laugh. My dad's still here. He's 75 and
Yeah.
he rides his bike every day. He looks 10 years younger than his age, but he rides his bike every day and hasn't smoked since I was a teenager.
Uh-huh.
One time we were throwing the football and he curled up in a ball and went to go get help. When I came back, I saw that man never pick up a cigarette again, and he's still here. So, but yeah, he's 75.
I feel bad for the people that get trapped up in addictions like that.
Yeah,
But
she enjoyed herself. So
to your live stream, it's like
right.
I'm not gonna tell you don't talk about your mom, and stuff because.
Oh yeah,
what live stream's about,
I just didn't want you guys to think I'm like not over it. I mean, I'm
never
over
gonna
it.
be. It's impossible
right.
until that you go off into the abyss.
Right.
You're always gonna love your mom,
Right. Well, here's the cool thing. I mean, here I'd make her laugh really hard before I drop her off, and each time I dropped her off, I told her I loved her and I'll see her soon. And then, I always told my mom how much I loved her when I dropped her off, and my wife would get on me because I couldn't get her to stop smoking. I said, "Hey, she's a grown ass woman. She knows it ain't good for her." But I'm so glad she kind of messed up her car because it gave me a whole year to take her to lunch and dinner. And now I have all these memories of us sharing dinner and lunch. And so I'm kind of grateful for that. So, but anyways, I'm telling my friends that still have both their sets of parents to really enjoy your parents while you still have them. Like I call my dad more now, especially since I lost my mom. Like, man, I need to call my dad more so I can build memories with him. Of course, the pandemic's not helping, but he finally got both his shots, so that's cool.
It's crazy is that I had when I grew up, I grew up with I have multiple brothers, but I two blood brothers I have.
Mm-hmm.
One is older, one's almost 7 years older than me. So he's like almost 38, 39. The other one is 35. But when we were younger, the middle one, we would fight like we were gang members in the house. Like my mom used to have us like think that I was the Crips and he was the Bloods. Like we couldn't stick in the same house. One would have to be with my dad or be with my mom. And my oldest brother would always protect me because my brother was, I think it was just one of those things where you're the middle child and you view the younger child as the golden child. And when you're young, like myself at the time, you don't really realize like how your perception of how you are doing things and you're affecting your brother. But as we got older, it was worse at like up until I was like 19, 20, like we would fight all the time and stuff. And I started distancing myself from him. But then like when my brother went to prison and stuff, we got really close. We started already getting close, but we really bonded a lot now. Like I talked to him, and before it was like I was not finding things that we were like me and my oldest brother, we would play video games, we would draw together, we would watch cartoons together. And the other one was, the middle one was more of like into music, but like isolated and talking to his own like, girlfriends or whatever. But now we're finding things that are more like we have actually decided to come up with a pets channel. Like I'm gonna be coming up with a channel that's more just niche based and gonna be dealing with like planted aquariums and stuff. And he does like aquarium fish too. So it's like we're finding stuff that we're have commonalities of things together, and it's helped us grow as brothers together because now we talk all the time. So it's really cool,
Oh, whoops! Sorry, I'll leave that up there.
I think it's all about friendships. It's like even like relationships. It's always about finding something that's common with each other. Like if you're dating someone or you're a friend with someone or you're a brother, if you don't have anything that's really like you like to do together, and you try to fabricate those things, it's never gonna come out as authentic. It's like you like a girl, but she likes to be all like a fashionista, then you like sports. It's like you're not gonna merely mix those worlds together.
That's funny you say that, Andrew. There's this buddy of mine. I think he passed away at 52 in 2017. But before he passed away, he was working in his backyard. I think we had built a bonfire the night before, but in the morning he was messing in his backyard. And we were thinking about a friend of ours who had passed away. He was a mixture of black and Indian. His name was Grady. And this dude, man, he knew sign language and he worked with different sign language schools. Just a really cool dude. And we were talking about how much we miss him. And at the time, I knew my buddy was having some health problems. And he was afraid his mom was going to pass away before he did, right? And he didn't know if he could handle living without his mom. And I say, hey, dude, man, you got tons of friends, man. We would help with you with that if you ever lost your mom. And I think the reason he was thinking about it because his mom had just beat cancer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad I took the opportunity to tell my buddy this, who was suffering from ailments. I said, hey, man, I go, if you ever leave this earth, man, I said, I tell you what, I don't care how many new friends I make. I said, they'll never replace you. And then I told him that week. And then 3 or 4 days later, he was gone. Like his mom called me. It's like, hey, JR, Paul's gone. And so I was really blown away. But I'm so glad I got to tell my friend while he was alive that no other friend was ever going to be, I don't care how many new friends I make. That's never going to replace my friend that I lost. But
yeah.
But
yeah.
But yes.
You really can't replace friends. Friends are like you grow up with them, and you can't replace good friends.
But I like making lots of new friends, but I don't do it to replace my old friends that I care about.
Exactly.
So
I ain't gonna lie though, like I don't know, like Jerry Boy, if you have like the same friends you grew up, but some of the friends that I had when I was like 14, 15, we're still friends, but things have changed. Like you start to realize that like you try to make things work, and when the universe doesn't really put it together and it just always takes away. Like I have a friend that like no matter what, as much things that we did, like if it just never worked together, we would just never click. And like I have like two friends that like, I still talk to this day, and it's like if I don't see them for months and I talk, it's like I was talking to them yesterday. So with some friends, it's like I have a friend that the one I'm talking about, and like I'll talk to him, and it's just like I'm trying to conjure up some things to like make the friendship feel natural. And it's just like I got tired of trying to make it feel natural and comfortable. It's always like we're always taking each other out of our comfort zone too much all the time. It's like just be natural with each other, and we can never find that. I can have my friend come from Miami, and we're like, what do you want to do? Oh, let's just go walk around and make some videos. My other friend, hey, what do you want to do? Let's just go get some hot pot, but the other one's like, let's go and like go rock climbing with like these 3 models that like once we get up there, like it's just like, dude, this is like way too exuberant for me, like chill out. So
well, what's fun is I like the one I lost in 2017, man, me and him just talked about every kind of subject, and it's really cool, man. There's people I'm friends with. I can really I can just relax. I don't even have to talk a bunch. Like I could sit quietly around a campfire, or sometimes I feel like chatting and I can chat a whole bunch. But anyways, I like friends that are just you don't necessarily always have to chat up a whole bunch, but you don't necessarily you're not uncomfortable if you share in silence and stuff. So I think of the movie Pulp Fiction where Uma Thurman's talking to John Travolta, and she mentions that in a scene where she looks and says, she goes, you found someone special when you can just sit quietly and enjoy comfortable silence. And I like what John Travolta's character said, well, we just met, so we're not quite there yet. And so
I like that movie. That was a good movie. Legendary movie.
Yeah, my friends don't want to know me anymore. It's you grew up with them, they just don't want anything more to do with you. It's like
all your friends
just lost contact.
Every single one of them?
Every single one of them was just.
Hey, Jerry, you know
Well,
why?
I ended up in a wheelchair through a disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome, so I'm in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Which I've always been open and everybody I've spoke to and
Mhm.
I've said I'm in a wheelchair, and it's definitely hard. Been in a wheelchair about, I would say, 9, nearly 10 years. But it's funny how people treat you different when you end up getting a disability. You know,
Uh-huh.
they just don't want to know you anymore.
Yeah, I always
It's
commend
it's,
those
it's
women that
weird.
I seen those videos where the girl's like holding up the guy,
Uh-huh.
who's paraplegic, but like she was holding up to see like the sunset, and I said, "Wow, like
Right.
you gotta be a different type of human being to like,
Right.
some people, if you're not, if you can't move at the same speed as them, they'll forget about you. It's kind of sad. I got
Why? Yeah.
karma. Like God's always looking.
Yeah. It can happen another way, Jerry. Like in my case, uh, the reason, part of the reason I'm not friends with all my friends I was at high school and college, I really didn't stay in contact with them. Mainly because every time I had a new girlfriend, I would ignore them. So they knew whenever I had a new girlfriend. I always liked hanging out with a girl instead of a bunch of dudes. Now my brother, he was able to do both, hang with a girl and also chill with the fellas. He's maintained all of his high school and he's maintained all of his high school friendships, man. Where I didn't do that. I'd rather be with a woman instead of being with a bunch of dudes. But
I wish I'd known that when I was
Exactly.
younger.
yeah. But
Like
I admired that he stayed friends with all his friends in high school because I didn't, you know.
that's like when you're in high school and you have like the plethora of women or girls when you're in high school. Like me, I can truly say like right now, I've created a lot of relationships with people, and I let a lot of guys off the hook because like there's a time when I was in high school where I could have really dated a lot of girls, in high school, and I just didn't really. I was more
Right.
of like I was super rebellious because at that time my dad and my mom got divorced. So like I in 2001 was like the roughest year because that's when my dad and my mom divorced, and then 9/11 happened.
Oh wow.
So it was like a double whammy. It was like this big giant
Wow.
event in the world, and then my dad left. So like I was like internally scared, but I was like internally like broken because I was like, and I remember the day my dad came in the room. Like I remember, like he came in, he was like, "You're the man now. Watch over your mom." And I just saw him leave. And I looked at the window in his pickup, and he left. And I was like, from that day, it just like clicked on me. I was like, I'm free. But like
Wow.
that freedom was the worst thing that's ever happened to me because I never got disciplined from my father. I never was taught. Oh, Jerry boy jumped in. Um, he probably come back, but I never
Yeah.
was taught. Like I learned to respect women through domestic violence, but I never was taught how to deal with women. It took me up until I was like 25 to really understand what works for women,
Right.
and like how to not really jump the gun with my emotions and be like, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I'm premeditating everything that's going to happen dealing with girls. And then I can never really, well, I was like, why are you 18? Don't have a girlfriend. Why are you 20? You don't have a girlfriend. Why are you 22? Why are you 23? And then as I started developing, going to parties and stuff and getting really comfortable, then I didn't realize like the power that I actually have. Like, I don't really have to talk too much. I just have to be kind of me a little bit and allow my aura to kind of make someone, kind of like, I like this guy because he doesn't really bug me. Like I don't learn to be like go up to women and be like, so blah 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 blah. I just kind of give them a little mystery,
Right.
be kind but be firm, and then it kind of just everything kind of falls. And I started realizing that I'm like, man, God gave me a gift. He gave me like a good like gift the grab type of charm a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as I matured, I understand like, okay, now I can kind of control my emotions because I went through a big depression when I was 26. Like I gained so
Wow.
much weight, like alone. Like I was when my grandmother passed away, I was like 230 pounds.
Right.
I'd sit in my room, like imagine like that. I have a tiger that's tatted on my back, right?
Right.
Big tiger, and that's my favorite animal.
Right.
And as much people call me monkey, right? The tiger is my favorite animal because it's a very isolated animal, you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And but he still hunts. He still is aggressive. But when I was depressed, I would sit in my room for like 15, 14 hours a day. No YouTube, no nothing. And I would just look out the window and just watch, even on a sunniest day, like it could be like my room would be dark. Like I would have like
Right.
black wall.
Curtains pulled and everything.
Yeah, just look out the window. It'd be beautiful. And my mom's
Right.
like, it's like 70, 80 degrees. What are you doing? It's like,
Right.
on the outside you see what's going on, but you don't see what's actually going inside with me.
Right.
It's not 70, 80 degrees. It's 20 degrees,
Exactly.
slushing and stuff and bad weather. But what I've learned to get through it was I started watching meditation videos.
Right.
And then I would watch these like powerful affirmation videos with like 800 hertz of sound and stuff. And I would really just close my eyes and I would just meditate. And then like I would start to hear my body and say like, okay, why do I feel that way? And then just purge whatever out. Like I would just cry for like anything. Like it would be like, I'm gonna cry because of the death of my grandmother. I'm gonna cry because of like, why my life is at this point. I'm not gonna hold on to the past. I'm gonna let everything go.
Right.
And once I started doing all these things and building up all these mechanisms, I just became kind of me now. I still have flaws, but I'm more like, all right, whatever, cool. Like I care, but I don't care. That aspect of like, I care to do what I need to do for today, but I don't care what happened yesterday.
Right.
Because that already happened. That's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's done with. So I kind of just live my life like that. Like if someone calls me a name on YouTube, oh well.
I like
Just
what
ignore it.
I like what Joe Rogan said. It's a clip you can find on TikTok. Joe Rogan says, "You know what? You are not your mistakes of your past. Whatever you did in the past is now in the past. You need to not live in the past. You need to say, all right, that's not me." And he goes, "You're not your mistakes." And I think a lot of people, they're so good at beating. I think a lot of people are more apt to forgive others than they are themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find that interesting that people are they're more apt to forgive themselves than they are they're more apt to forgive other people than they are themselves.
Hey, Ben
Do
Carbonell.
Hey, what's
apologise. My
happening?
headphones cut off.
How's it going, Bean?
Hey, Jared,
How's
can
it
I ask you a
going?
question?
Yes, you can
You
ask
said
me
that
anything you want.
you're in a wheelchair, right?
Yes.
Do you have any regret? Like, do you think about that day? Like, there was a day when you did walk, right?
Yes.
Is that like a big regret? Like, do you ever like think about that day?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't honestly. The way I look at what me being in the wheelchair now is there's people a lot worse off than me. At least I'm still here. I'm in a wheelchair. I can do things.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't regret it.
Hey, Andrew, have you ever seen the little, I don't know I can't remember his name, but he actually was born with no, I want to say not much arms and maybe no legs. And he moves, he has little appendages at the bottom of his, I don't know. Anyways, it's hardly no legs and no arms. And he's a little preacher dude. And this guy,
Are you talking about the dude on YouTube?
I think he's a little preacher dude.
Okay.
He looks like a young guy. I think he had a beard a little bit, but anyways, he made these high school students and college students cry because they were kind of feeling bad for themselves. And here he is, just a stump of a body. But you wouldn't know that. Like if you were filming him just to hear,
J Mike.
and you didn't know he had no arms or legs, you would think, wow, this guy. You would think he was an able-bodied person if they were just filming him from here, right?
Mhm.
Because of his attitude. I mean, he had this awesome attitude. And what's wild is, I think he was born this way when he had no arms and legs. But his parents treated him like they didn't treat him like he was a person that didn't have no arms and legs. They just treated him like they would if he had arms and legs. And so the parents didn't even give this kid to feel bad for himself. And what's neat about this kid, so he's growing up in this environment, which shows the power of our thoughts, right? I mean, it shows the power of human thinking.
Yeah.
And so, and kudos to his parents not to make him, uh, do the woe is me in that situation. And kudos to that kid for just grabbing onto the, just he really ran with what his parents were teaching him. And so I
Hello,
just,
hello.
hey, what's
J Mike
happening?
is here hanging out with Lone Wolf and Jerry Boy and Ben Carbonell.
How's it going, Ben
Hi.
Carbonell? How
Hi,
are
how's
you?
it going?
Oh, I'm
Hello.
great. I was just listening to two of you earlier, and I'm glad that finally Andrew came up here. And yeah, so because I'm packing and I need to move out of my place in the next couple of days, so it happened that I saw you online, and I was listening to you, and Jerry and Lone, and now Mr. OUFN came up, and I got so excited. I'm like, these three guys will be perfect on my talk show. And I was listening,
Oh,
and while I'm moving around while listening, I'm like, what came into my head is came to mind is like these three guys will be perfect to have a what they call this it's at the tip of my tongue. When they put it on Spotify, that you don't need to be on live stream. Like, you can record, let's say, if you run it a series of 12 minutes,
Like a
it's
voice
just an
cast, right?
audio
Yeah, it's
podcast.
audio.
yeah,
Podcast. You know what? Three of you will be perfect on
podcast.
a podcast because I'll be releasing my second channel. The name will be Carbonell, and it will be on a podcast, and I'm gonna put it on Spotify, put it on different platforms. And yeah, so by the time I release my second channel and do the podcast, so these are the kind of personalities like you guys will be perfect on the podcast. And I was listening to three of you, and you know what, and you touch on the topic, Andrew, you talk on the topic about depression. With what's going on right now in the world, there's so many millions out there are struggling with depressions. They don't know how to overcome it. I was just counseling one of my singer from the talk show. He's struggling as well. And you know what, it's nice to have that topic as well, to be able to encourage them. Not so many people on a live stream talk about depression, talking about how to overcome it. And you mentioned about earlier about overcoming sorrows, grief about our family loss. I think you were mentioning about your mom there earlier, your dad. I lost my dad as well. Really, really great guy. He's a great poet. They call him Shakespeare of the Philippines. And really, really nice guy. He wrote like 72 books. So that's why I wanted to have a tribute for Father's Day on June 20th. And I would love three of you to be on that show. Maybe I can have three of you for an hour or so, just to do this, just to talk about usually with the talk show, I'll do different series and different talks. Let's say, for instance, if I'll set you up, three of you, we can talk about friendship, with you guys, how you
Yeah.
how, I like when Andrew said earlier, that's really true, that there are friends that we have in the past, even your high school friends, by the time you see each other, as if that you just saw him yesterday. Like, there's no gap of time, like, and then, hey bro, what's up, but there are some friends that we see again after certain space of time, and you feel that it seems like you don't know that person anymore. It's hard to jive, there's an awkwardness already, right? So that's a good topic as well, about friendship, about as what I've said, overcoming anger, overcoming anger with sadness. Like, that most of the people that's depressed, because sometimes it's a taboo in other countries to speak about it, and sometimes it's just it's there, but it's not being recognized, it's not being acknowledged. Like, no, this is not happening to me, I don't know what it is. So there's no guidance, it's not really discussed about upon during live streams. So I think we'll be able to give light, and I'd like it when Jerry mentioned earlier, like, you know what, no regrets. And I like his positive attitude too. So I think it's just spreading love, spreading positivity. And yeah, you guys are great personality, and I can't help it but to come up and just to say hi to three of you.
Yeah. I'm
Cool.
always willing to help out.
I'm glad you came and say hi.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if you want to be on the
And I
podcast,
have
it's fine.
Yes,
I'll be
sorry,
there.
because I'm cleaning and I was supposed to be. Yeah, I'll just say hi quickly, and there you go.
Oh,
So I'm packing.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
hello.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I would say, Bang, it's for me, it's because I get this kind of gift from my mom. You know, I'm not an astrologist, but I know that like my dad's a Cancer. We're all born in July. My dad's birthday's the 7th. Mine's the 8th. My mom's the 3rd. My grandfather's 8th. And like as a young age, like I always wonder, like, man, I feel a lot. Like I feel everything. Like sometimes I can feel when people are like down and stuff. Like I observe a lot, and I say like, what's going on? Oh, nothing's fun. Nothing's going on. Like I could tell something's going on, and then they'll come back like, how did you kind of know? I'm like, I can feel because I see it from my mom. Like she works at a grocery store, and she comes home, and I would register it for years, and she would always come home mad or frustrated, and I'd say, Mom, like what you're going through is not your feelings, it's theirs, and you're
Right.
taking it on because
That's
my mom's
right.
like very empathic person. Like she like takes on things like she cannot, like for her to see like a Discovery Channel with like an animal like getting killed, like I cannot stand watching that. She cannot watch that. It hits us more like someone's death will hit us harder. That like I haven't seen someone that like my grandmother passed, and I said my grandmother passed, but I'll tell you this: me and my grandmother, we didn't really. She didn't speak English well, but what I seen from everybody looking around the funeral, how they felt towards my grandmother, and I kind of known how she was because she was like a light of the family. I
Right.
just made me hurt because other people were hurt. So like a lot of the depressive stuff that happened in my life came from a lot of people's sorrow, So like, not doing things in life to help out my mom, like my dad being depressed because he made a mistake, my brother falling in his decisions because of the lack of family structure, like my brother trying his hardest to work and work and work and be there for his daughter, but dealing with other things, like, and you just take all the stuff into one, and it becomes one big emotion, and then like you just start to regret. And until I realized, I said, this is just life, and this is just how it goes, because nothing is an easy walk through the park. Like you're not gonna be able like to get through life without the scars. Like you have to have some story, like you tell your kids one day, like, yeah, everything was good, and then they think everything is good. It's like it's not how it is. It's like you're gonna have a day when you're gonna feel bad, and you gotta deal with it. Like one thing I learned is like when you feel bad and you feel sad, just live in it. Because once you start to understand like what that feeling is all the time, when you are feeling good, you're gonna realize like I want more of that. And how can I achieve feeling more positive
Correct.
and sad? Because if I can get to that point, because I always say the worst thing that people commit suicide, right, is not because they were depressed and they were sad or they were happy. It's the feeling of nothing. It's the feeling of non motivation.
Emptiness.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Emptiness is the worst feeling. Nothingness. Like the days like let's say like I edit a lot of videos, or like I have something to do, or I can help out someone. When I don't feel like nothing's to do, that's the worst. That's the worst. I don't feel good to even go outside in a sunny day, and I don't even feel, I could feel worse and just be like, I feel bad. That's it. When I feel nothing, that is the worst I can feel. I'd rather feel bad than nothing, and I'd rather feel happy than nothing. So it's just
Yeah.
a lot of emotions in life, like
I
really
think
gets.
when
That,
you're
that,
trying to describe when you feel nothing, that hollow feeling,
Yeah.
it's like a hole. There's like a hole inside that it's hard, difficult to describe. That
I'd,
that emptiness.
you know
You
what
know,
thing? I'd rather feel, if you feel nothing, fill it up with something. Like
Mhm.
if you feel nothing, fill it up with anger. Go to the gym. If you feel nothing, fill it up with happiness. If you don't know what to do with it, bring it to someone.
yeah.
Make them happy. Because you know what you
Yeah.
put into the universe will give it right back. If you
Yeah.
feel mad, go to the gym. You're gonna give your body exercise. If you feel
Right.
happy, give it to someone. Maybe that's gonna help them out through the
Yeah.
day, and that's the universe is gonna give you happiness
Yeah.
back. That's how I kind of just treat life
Yeah.
with.
Before I met my wife, I thought of three things before I met my wife. People, places, and things do not make me happy. And how I really come to believe that, one time I'd want this one particular physical item, like I'd want it so bad, I'd save up for it, I'd finally got it. And then after I've had it for a few months, the newness would wear off. So that's when I realized things don't make me happy, right? And then as far as people and places, well, people screw up all the time. So that can't make you happy. And anyways, before I had, well, first I had to ask my wife 3 times before she said yes. First 2 times she wanted to make sure she was in love. Third time she finally agreed to marry me. But before we got married, I said, "Hey, look, I can make you smile and laugh a whole bunch." I said, "But I believe you. I believe it's terrible to throw on a human being. You take this ball of stuff to a human being you're getting ready to marry to, and you throw it on them and say, 'Hey, look, I'm going to make you responsible for all my happiness.'" And I told my wife I did not want to do that to her. Here, where we're getting ready to get married, I said, "I am not going to make you the sole arbiter of my happiness and just hand it to you. I think the only one who could handle that would be God. So why would you place that on another human being?" And what's funny is I have this feeling when people do get married that they do that. They grab this and go, "All right, I've been waiting for a person to throw this all on. So now you're." So for me personally, my philosophy was, for happiness for me is it's happiness you cultivate inside yourself spiritually. Like I said, my philosophy once again was people, places, and things don't make me happy. So I really felt I had to, and I'm glad I was cultivating that in myself before I married somebody. And I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm saying I think it's a journey. I don't think there's ever I don't think there will ever be a level where I say, "Oh yeah, I'm happy with this happiness, so that's it. I'm not going to grow anymore." Because I do think with age, we change, and I think what makes someone happy at 23, you may have a different idea of happiness when you're 30 or 40, or you know what I'm saying. But anyways, I always felt that it's. I mean, like I said, I can make my wife laugh all day, but I think only she can internalize, make herself, or for lasting happiness. I think. What do
That's
you
what
Yeah.
guys think? What do you guys think of that? Will Smith said a similar thing on TikTok.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, he said that he could make his wife laugh. So it's funny. I had this philosophy before he threw it on TikTok, but
Yeah.
but he said that about his own life. He even said it about his audience. He could make his audience laugh all day, but they really are responsible for their own happiness.
That's
You know.
right.
And the
Eh,
cool thing is that all of us are CEOs of our own life. And so whatever it is that we want to change, because you really are the chief officer of your own life. You can decide how, uh, I think there's, like, as far as being selfish, I think there's, like, if you need more sleep, that's a good time to be selfish. Or if you could tell your body needs rest, that's a good time to be selfish. I did like what this one Air Force colonel said. He runs a YouTube channel. His name is called Nut and Fancy. And he came from kind of a broken home where his mom was like a single mom and didn't have much money, and here his dad was an Air Force pilot and had plenty of money, right? So he was forced to go back and forth between these homes that had very different lifestyles. But the neat thing that the reason why he was telling his audiences this is that he was showing he didn't have a perfect childhood while growing up, and he wanted people out there to know if they didn't have a perfect childhood, you still. And then once he created his own family, he decided. And what's funny is he went on to become an Air Force pilot like his dad, and none of his friends supported it because they didn't think he could make it. So he still applied anyways and finally did become an Air Force pilot. So it's funny, even your own friends can discourage you from reaching your dreams, and he still reached his dreams anyways, even though they were discouraging him. So, and like I said, I think what's neat about what this retired Air Force colonel learned in achieving that is, one, if you really set your mind to something and go with it after all your passion, you can achieve it. But yeah, that's one of the YouTube channels I follow. It's the Nut and Fancy Project, and it's a retired Air Force colonel. He's a really cool dude. But yeah, I and like I said, I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers here. There's another guy I like that's on TikTok. He's like an old guru. He has a gray beard. I can't remember. Yeah, I think that's who it is. My daughter was pointing. And what's funny is I didn't know my daughter was watching his videos, and I was watching his videos as well. And anyways, I liked what this one young guy said on TikTok. He said the Buddha, if you're angry at someone, like really, really angry at someone, and you're still filled with this anger while you're being angry at someone, it's like drinking poison and you're expecting the other person to die. And I love that phrase, or I love that supposedly the Buddha had said that story to somebody.
That's an interesting description right there. And I have a friend too, it reminds me, like he mentioned, and I'll never forget it when he said that when you're at the height of your anger, never make a decision, because that decision for sure won't be a good decision, right? And when you said earlier about happiness too, before I go, that's my alarm clock right there. Happiness is a choice,
Yeah.
and sometimes so I think like when I'm at the lowest point, down point in my life, I said, okay, so until when I'm going to experience this sadness, this to remain or to be in this boat of, you're like in the middle of a harsh storm, in the darkest, you're like in the middle of the darkest sea in a storm, like when are you going to have this, I said, until when am I going to stand here or sit here just cry feeling sorry for myself? I said, you know what, I don't I made the choice to shorten it, to undergo the process, but not to stay in that process. I'm like, I wanted to smile and have a humor, because I'm a person of humor. So I'm like, I wanted to be a person wherein I can still humor and smile in the midst of the storm. Because I said, okay, so if I'll stay in this state of sadness for this period of time, let's say for instance, from grieving for 3 months, 6 months, a year, why can I shorten it just to probably like couple of weeks or 1 month, and then be there for others? Or let's say for instance, I'm undergoing like a breakup, like why can't, instead of I'll be feeling sorry for myself from the breakup of relationship for 3 months, why can I shorten it to 2 weeks? And then you know what I mean. So I can, as what I think it was Andrew who said earlier, that when you feel empty, when you feel hollow inside, is you go to the gym, you go do this, you clean the house or something, is I think it's redirecting that negative feeling into something productive, into something that you gain something from it. Our physical body will gain something from it. Because back to the depression anyway, I rarely use that word. Because sometimes it's classical conditioning on the mind too, right? State of
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
I'm depressed, I don't use that. I might be in the lowest point in my life, but I don't claim it, because anything that we claim, I'm depressed, I feel
That's why
like,
I say depressive. Like a depressive
right.
state.
Yes, I
Depression
feel
is like
like
a
I'm a
condition.
failure. Those negative thoughts. I'm a failure. I am not successful. I'm in a depressive state. Instead of, probably thinking that way, it's like, oh, I'm at the lowest point in my life right now. I'm sad. I'm experiencing this stumbling block. I think, what are the ways? I think I'm gonna start to have plans. Plan A, Plan B. This is my options, and like, we stumble and fall, and just to put in the mind, like, what can I do to stand up again? There is God that tells me I cannot handle things that's bigger than my problem. God is bigger than my problem. So when we have that classical state of conditioning in mind, we won't fall into that very very down, because there's always, like, sometimes we feel so alone. Well, in fact, I tell myself, no, I'm not alone. I have friends. I can make friends. I have my family. I still have my mom that cares for me. But sometimes this head is telling us, the voice, I feel alone. I feel sorry for myself. Nobody cares about me. Well, in fact, it's not true. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's nice to, I always have that mentality, is classical to program in my mind. No, like, I'm just sad right now. I'll get over this. I'll be fine. And before I go as well, like, I try to preserve my energy. Like, when I'm having problem at the very, very peak of my problem, sometimes I'll go out and somebody will be rude to me. Then I break down, you know because I'm like, this person didn't know how I'm feeling right now. So it's important, and I have that in my mind, to be kind to everyone that I meet, because you don't know what that person is undergoing. You don't know that that person feels empty today. You don't know that person is suicidal today. So it's always nice to, how many else souls around us that's being kind, that's happy, that's joyful, has that joyful spirit, cheerful spirit, to share that happiness, share positivity. Not so many anymore. That's why I try not to dwell into so much negative feelings, negative emotions, negative energy, negativity in my head. Oh, I'm in this depressive state. I try to stand up fast, like, I want to be okay. If no one tells me you're okay, I'll pat myself in the shoulder. That's
Yeah.
what we call self-care. You'll be okay. You're all right. God is watching you. God created you. God will take care of you. God provided you with family, with your spouse that will be there for you. And we have friends that's there that we can call upon. There's counselors that we can talk to. Or
I think most of the things are created by, like, when Lomo said about the Indian guy, one thing he said was like fear is like the only emotion where like people actually create that, where like
Mhm.
happiness is something that you have to like achieve,
Yes.
like positivity is something you achieve, like let's just say, for example, right, when I was younger, my early 20s, my friends would be like, let's go to the nightclub, let's go to a club. And I was a big, like, I'm very sociable, but I'm very like, I was very like crowd, anti-crowd. Like, I don't like to be around crowds and stuff. And I would always what's the word? Like, I would prejudge a situation that's happening. That's the fear. So like, I would say, I gotta go to this nightclub. I gotta look good for people. That is the perception and the judgment. And then like, I gotta do these things, and that's like the fear of like, I gotta dance or something like that. I don't like to dance like that. Now I do. But what happens in that moment? We created that space, which that's that fear, right? And the thing about people that never, when they get to depressive states, is that they never accomplish the experience. So like,
Mhm.
let's say like, oh wait, I used to like say, no, not this time, Andrew. I'm going. And when I went, I would go like this. Wow, this is not that bad.
That's right.
This is actually fun.
Hmm.
So all those times and all those experiences, which is the regret, I missed out on those experiences.
Right. Right.
So I started cutting that off and saying,
Good
I'm
for
going to
you.
stop saying no, and I'm going to start saying yes, regardless if the situation is bad are good because each experience is experience, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
You know, so that's how I kind of live now. I don't say no, I'm not going to do it because I'm just creating a sphere in my head, which is fake. It's an illusion. Just
That's
do
right.
it, and
See, I like what my mom used to say. She said, "Son, you may not be able to change the whole world, but the world you come in contact daily, you can make a difference."
That's right.
exactly. Yep.
So just
Absolutely.
think about all the people
So
you come in contact with. Yeah.
Same
Right.
thing with Jerry Boy, right? He is tied to a wheelchair. But how many times have you went on TikTok, YouTube, and you've seen those people that I've seen guys playing that in a wheelchair playing basketball? They're one of the biggest YouTubers or whatever. It's kind of the world you kind of create. That's your happiness, you know. A lot of people want to see, they have a happy life, but I compare it to my life. Oh, I'm not happy. It's like you don't live
But
their life. Live your life.
but the
Live
cool
your
thing,
life to the fullest.
what I think Jerry can do though is um, he can inform the public, so that way if someone has a friend that ends up in Jerry's case, they can know right away maybe what their friend is feeling, and then not be so scared away just because their friend's experiencing that.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, my good friend in 2017 that I lost, if he were to ever had gotten in Jerry's thing, man, uh, I mean, if I'm really close to a friend, I'm not going to care what. I mean, it'll suck that my friend's going through that. But
The
like I said,
double. It's like,
but I
let's go,
think,
bang, let's go.
I know.
but Jerry,
Sorry.
I think Jerry has a story. And what's weird is someone could come across this later, this live stream, and maybe they're just waking up and maybe they need to hear something from Jerry that they really need to get them through what Jerry's go through. I mean,
I think
I
that's
don't
Jerry's
know Jerry's whole
narrative on
story.
his YouTube would be like,
I've only known snippets of it when he's talked
yeah.
about it.
A lot of people I meet on YouTube and like we do certain things to do YouTube stuff, but like we don't really look around us and be like, wait, that's our narrative right there. Like I can talk about this because this is what I've gone through. You know, like
Right.
my whole life was like around like domestic violence and you know, a broken household. You know, like telling people like it's okay that like you lived with us. You know, my mother was a single mother for 20 years. It's okay that your father had made a decision and changed your world. Your world may have not been as great as it is now. You know, like the things that I've learned now, the life experiences, probably way the what I've learned if they would stick together. Because I would probably be like a kid in a candy land, like I have my dad and I have my mom and stuff, and it's peachy cream, but it's not really like that. Some people in like my dad's life and my mom and a lot of parents, they go through stuff. That's what the kids say, like they see. Like now what I've learned is, right, if I'm with my significant other, I will never show my kids my hand. I will never show what not my physically. I will never show with me and my wife or my girlfriend what we go through because they see monkey do. Like if they see me yelling at my wife, verbally abusing her, my son's gonna do that. My
Right.
daughter's gonna do that. If I see my wife is beating me up, my daughter's gonna be like, well, it's good to beat up on men, so they gonna take that. I'll never show them. I'll always just show, hey, love your significant other to the end, and keep them guessing because then that's their decision. Whatever they're gonna learn when they get to meet their significant other, like, oh, I saw my dad love my mom to the end. I'm gonna do the same thing, you know.
Exactly. And they look up to, right? Like we become what we are through our childhood experiences, right?
Yeah.
Regardless, like what race, what background, it's always back to the basics. Like how were you brought up, right? Those rearing years, the parenting skills of the parents nowadays. Parents like on their cell phones, they're on their computers like for so long, and the kids too. So there's not much interactions anymore. So it's nice to have like this YouTube platform is such a powerful tool. Like, look, we're able to do this, like, for a few minutes, for 20 minutes. And this makes a great deal of difference in people's lives. Like, we encourage each other, right? I'm encouraged with the sharing that you just had, Andrew, like with you as well, and of course with Jerry Boy, Lone Wolf, and to all our viewers, because we have viewers outside this chat room that's listening right now. They're passing through, like, oh, they're discussing about this, like, that will catch their attention. And as what I've said, happiness is a choice, and there's not so many people out there right now who can spread that love, spread the peace, spread the
Yeah.
positivity. Like, may it be when it's about politics, about religion, about what's going on right now, about medical, about health, overall all this, like, there's always light, in the midst of darkness. There's always light, like at the darkest storm. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. And, just looking through, envisioning that light, and believing that one day somehow, because right here in this world, every problem, there's always a solution, and there's no things that we cannot surpass. Everything that comes into our life, we're able to surpass it. Like, all the problems that we have in the past, we're still here right now. We're talking, we're breathing. And I think overall, the denominator too is two things: gratitude and gratefulness. So being grateful, just being here right now, talking to each of you, is a gift. That we're not lying down in the in ICU with all the tubes all over. We're not fighting for our lives. We're to survive, to breathe, to gasp for air. We're here, we're alive, we're healthy, we're able to see, to talk, to wake up tomorrow morning. Is that gratefulness for the gift of life? Just even that very simple thankfulness, it's really, really a great tool, to spread that message out there. Like, being grateful for every single little thing around us, and just for, just to wake up in the morning, like, it's already a gift. Like, wow, I'm alive. I'm alive
Yeah.
today. I'm able to experience this life, and I don't want to dwell in this negative feeling. I don't want, because life is too short. I want to embrace and to seize every single minute of this day, because I will never come back.
When
Once
I,
I lose the 2 weeks of sadness, I cannot go back to that again, and to make it
yeah.
happy, to make it cheerful, right? So instead of dwelling right now, if you guys don't have idea what I'm undergoing right now, and I don't usually share my private life, share my even on my talk show. I'm not on air for the past 2 months. I'm really experiencing that down. This is the hardest part of my life, and yet I'm here, smiling, able to still speak of positivity. That before I go, like, let's not forget that there are good people out there. There are good people out there, that there's still good souls. There's still people that carries that light inside of them, and such a blessing knowing you, OUFN, Lone Wolf, through Blessed Life, Miss Pina's Habit. I've been listening there, even if I'm just on the background, if I'm at work or doing things. And it's a pleasure meeting you, Jerry Boy. Keep that
Thanks very
positivity,
much.
keep that light
Yeah.
inside of you, because
I,
look, I'm packing right now, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed just to be able to talk to three of you. I've been listening this entire time when I was down below, and you guys made me smile.
Yeah.
And
I know
God,
it's
I,
pretty cliche.
I,
The grass is always greener on the other side, but
right.
really, it really is.
I'm going to share
I love-
something with you. When is before I hit high school, I was in grade school, and I had asthma really, really bad. And I prayed a really serious prayer that I'm shocked that I prayed to God. I said, God, I said, you either make this better and get me better, or take me, because I'm tired of this. Like, I was really mad at God. This is grade school prayer, right? I was like, hey man,
Yeah.
I said, God, you either make me better or take me home, because I'm tired. I told God that. I told him I was tired. And not that long after, I started getting better. But then I made the mistake of not taking asthma medication anymore, which I would not recommend to anybody. But anyways, I stopped taking prednisone. I stopped taking these medicines. And part of the reason I did it is I was afraid, what if I was ever too far away from my medicine and couldn't take it? But like I said, I would not recommend this to anyone. I just something I did when I was a teenager. Not that long after, the doctor said I don't need to take this medicine, and I was like, oh, I haven't taken that for a while. And then all of a sudden, the other medicine I gave up, he came and said, hey, you don't need to take that anymore. And so now I'm not saying God healed me or anything like that, because I still experienced my asthma. I think what happened is I grew out of my asthma when I became a young adult or a teenager. I started to grow out of it. Then when I became an adult, I grew out of it. I still experience it whenever I'm around cats. It takes me about an hour. But it's weird that I got serious with God about either making it better, or it's wild that I had the maturity as a grade school kid, realizing that I didn't want this for myself. And I have yet to pray another serious prayer like that ever again in my life. So I don't know if I would have the same, like if I run into another serious, because this life is so crazy. It doesn't mean I'll never have another serious moment like that. But I'm kind of proud of myself that I got enough gumption to talk to supposedly the universe person out there and say, hey man, you either take me home or you make this shit better. Because I didn't cuss when I was praying, but I said, you either take me or. And since then, I've never had to pray another prayer like that. But that's not to say I don't run into problems or difficulties. Or I do believe in not dwelling in. I do believe thoughts are things too. And but I also, whenever I'm going through a hard time, I love saying this. Like, I'll say to myself, wow, this really sucks, or I don't like this. Like, I'll verbally say it. No one's around. It's just me by myself. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, hey, this really sucks, JR. I really don't like this. This totally sucks. And sometimes there have been several mornings I've gotten up and saying this sucks, but I still get myself going to get ready for work. And what's so neat about it is, the other thing I'll say to myself is, well, maybe this suckiness will only last for so long. Or I'll say to myself, I think this suckiness, I just got to tell myself this suckiness will not last forever. That's and son of a gun, it's really true. So if anyone's going through a really hard time or going through a really sucky time, one, it's okay to acknowledge that it sucks. Just say, hey, this really friggin', even if you got to cuss, say this really fucking sucks. And then you say to yourself, hey, man, this is not going to last forever.
That's right.
Because usually it doesn't last forever. And even if it does last for a little bit of while, you still gotta keep getting up every day. And even if you got to kick yourself in the nuts or kick yourself in the ass, do what you got to do so you get yourself going. Because there's been times where, I have taken mental health days. There's times where I've decided to lay in bed. I'll call off and I'll lay in bed. But then I find, like halfway through the day, like, man, I could have made it in there. Maybe I didn't need to take this day. But I am glad that I have taken such days, because sometimes I maybe get more rest and stuff like that. But main thing I want to tell people, if they ever rewatch this live, is this life's never going to be perfect, and I don't think all of us are called to be perfect. I think we got to do the best with what we have, with what tools we got. But the neat thing about it, you can always learn new tools to put in your arsenal on how to deal with really sucky days. And I'm not going to promise you there's never going to be sucky days, But if they are, you're not alone. You can always find whatever the suckiness you're going through. I bet you can find a group out there that's gone through it. So you can talk to other people on how they dealt with it and got through it. People deal with lots of different ways. I mean, Andrew talked about going and hitting the gym. The way I deal with it is sometimes it's through exercise, but sometimes it's also bad way as I've dealt with it with eating stuff. That's not good because I've chubbed myself up good. So that's what makes me go hit the gym after I've chubbed myself up.
And I
But,
think surrounding ourselves with positive, positive, happy people out there. I call
Yeah.
that my happy pill. Is like, I've learned to protect myself from negativity
Right.
by once somebody's like so negative and throwing negativity at me,
Oh,
like I've learned to
that
back down and surround myself
that
with loving
yeah.
people, supportive, positive
That's
people. I
funny you
see that.
say that when in my I mean people can't see my life outside of YouTube, but what I do is, and I told my daughter this, I said, hey, if I do run into negative people, they are not going to know that I'm sly. I go away so slowly they don't
Mhm,
know that
mhm.
I'm moving away from them because I feel like they're zapping my energy. I mean, I can almost feel my energy being pulled away from me
Right,
when I'm
right.
around really like super negative people. And all I can think of is negative people love company, right? So once I feel like my energy's being pulled, I slowly pull away
That's right.
because
You can
I love
regain
being
regain back
right,
your.
right. Now sometimes if it's a loved one though, I will throw myself in, and if it's a really close friend, I will risk letting a little my energy pulled away because maybe I really care about that friend or I
Mhm,
really care about that family member. But sometimes I'll pull away with them for a short time just to recharge. Like if I'm helping someone that is in a
right.
like a rut. Because I think if you don't do that, you could. It's almost like if I went out to go save someone who's drowning. One of the things they try to do before you grab a drowning person, you try to throw them a buoy or you try to throw them something that floats, right? There's been too many really good swimmers who've been drowned by people that they're trying to save because the person will get so excited, will climb on top of you, and then here the person that was going to save them, they both end up drowning. And you can almost equate emotions to that too. If you got to create all the buoyances you can throw out to them first before you start to rescue them out of
That's
their
right.
own
That's
or
right.
whatever they're marred in. So
Right.
yeah,
Same thing
because you
inside the plane, right? Before you help somebody, put that oxygen first, and you'll be able
right.
to help another one.
That's a
So again, back to
that's a
the
good
basics:
analogy. Yeah,
self-care, taking care of ourselves first before we can take care of others. In
that's a
as
good
much as what I
analogy.
wanted to stay, I'll be listening while I'm packing because I only have few hours to pack.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's a pleasure meeting three of you. And I hope this won't be the last
Oh,
that I'll be able to be here with you
oh.
guys.
Yeah,
By
I
the
gotta step
way,
down
by the
too. I
way,
gotta.
If you
Yeah.
by
want
the
to be on your
by,
podcast, I'll be in your
by the way,
podcast. That's fine.
whatever you're going through, Ben, I want you to know I love you so very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
I love you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I know we just met, but I do love and care about you a whole bunch. I
I
don't know what
appreciate
it
it.
is, but uh, I care about you a whole lot.
Thank
And
you.
God bless you for sharing yourself here.
Thank you.
I can
I
see your
appreciate
heart.
that.
Yeah, I heart, and we love you. Well, I can't speak for the rest of the group, but I
Yeah,
love you so very much.
Ben,
Well,
you can't
you're
have the
a
good.
fantastic person.
Yeah, you can't have the good without the bad. So
That's right. Absolutely.
you gotta
Right.
roll with the punches, and then the good days, and then once you get to those good days, just keep building off of that, so you don't run into another bad day.
Yeah, there you
Lessen,
go.
Exactly.
shorten those bad days and
So
create more good and greater days.
That's
it's
right.
got to be
So,
good days, and
And
you're
I
a good
thank God for the
person.
courage to come up here and share with you guys, and I feel better, and I don't feel alone. And I thank you
cool.
guys. I appreciate the three of you. And that's what I've said. I feel like earlier I was listening to a podcast, and know that
Oh,
you made someone smile today. And
oh,
thank you so much. I'm
oh,
grateful, and
cool.
it's not by accident or by incident or whatnot that that I'm able to meet you guys here up screen. And yeah, you don't have idea. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we don't have idea that we can make someone smile that's undergoing the darkest time of their life. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed to know three of you, and of course Sean that's listening down below, and J Mike as well. And thank you so
Cool.
much, guys. You really made my heart smile tonight. And God bless you. And Andrew is finally nice
Cool.
to see you. I always say hi to
Yeah.
him down
Oh,
below,
well, I
but
can't get that
we
Cool.
right.
love you guys. God bless you.
Cool.
Stay safe and take care. Okay.
All right,
Cool.
thanks.
Have
So
a
if
good
you
Hey guys, I'm
ever,
gonna
night.
step
if you,
down too. It's getting late
Have a
here.
good
It's
night.
like 12 something, so I gotta be up in the hospital tomorrow.
like,
So,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
past midnight here too. God bless you guys.
Okay.
I love you guys.
all right,
Take
well,
Jerry.
care.
I'm gonna let
Take
you guys get
care.
if
back.
you want to be in your podcast, it's fine. I'll be in your podcast.
Yeah, I will be there.
Cool. Cool
Thank
beans.
you.
Come
God
on,
bless
Father's
you.
there
Day.
you go.
So, bye,
Cool.
guys.
Take
Take
care.
care. Peace.
That's fantastic. What a
Wow,
lovely person.
that was
And
amazing,
that was
Jerry,
good.
huh?
That was absolutely fantastic.
That was
It's
awesome.
like,
That
oh
was pretty
man,
that was pretty
you know,
cool.
it's so much amazing people out there in the world, isn't there?
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely
It's
fantastic.
well, here's what I love. I think it's the Dalai Lama that talks about our humanity. He really touches on that. The Dalai Lama really touches on our humanity. Or the Dalai Lama knows people listen or they hear him speak, and he knows he's not telling the world that they need to become Buddhists. He said, but whatever you can learn, or if there's a tool in Buddhism you can learn and enjoy, go by all means, go ahead and use it. And I mean, I'm not a Buddhist, but I am. My background is I grew up Roman Catholic. I almost was going to give my life to the church. I was going to become a priest. I was going to get rid of all my debt, and I was going to become a Roman Catholic priest. I never got to go to seminary school, so I never made it that close. But I was going to have a parish sponsor me, and I was going to give my life to God and give my life to the church. And instead, um, the guy who was talking with me, he looked like David Letterman. It was so funny. His name was Father Paul Cutter. And on our last meeting, I said, "Hey, Father, I think God's not calling me to be a priest anymore. I think God wants me to get married." And I even told the priest that I'm not even dating a particular girl right now. I said, "I think God wants me to get married one of these days." But I felt bad because I felt like I had wasted the priest's time, right? And the priest said, "It's okay. It's okay. It's all right." So what's funny, I had to go back to the same priest because I fell in love with this Peruvian. My wife's a mixture of Peruvian, Japanese, Spanish, and Italian, right?
Wow, well, nice.
So, anyways, I went to him and I said, "Hey, I'm married." And what's weird, before I met my wife, I became a member of the Baha'i faith. So I went back to the same priest that I was thinking about becoming a Catholic priest. But now it was of a different religion, and I told him I ran into a good Catholic girl I wanted to marry. And by the way, she's from another country. And he said, "Well, first check with your original parish to see if they could do the wedding for you." I was like, "Okay." So I checked with my original parish, and they couldn't do it in short order. But this priest that I met with about becoming a priest, he said he would do it if my current parish couldn't do it. And he agreed to, and we went with him as a couple before we got married. And uh, he pointed out our different backgrounds, and it was cool. It was almost like a mini marriage encounter before you get married, and it was really cool. And but it was wild being of a total different faith, and then I'm turning around marrying a Catholic girl, and I ended up raising my daughter Catholic, and it was really cool. And I'm still a member of the Baha'i faith. But anyways, the reason I bring up the Baha'i faith is because Baha'is not only recognize Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, but they also recognize Buddhism and also the Native American religion as legitimate pathways to God. Basically, Baha'is believe that all the major religions pray to the same God. They may just call God by different names and attributes. But anyways, that's if you were to go visit the Baha'i House of Worship in Chicago, in Wilmette, Illinois, you'll see on the stone it's got 9 doors. The Baha'i House of Worships, and they're all different looking. Like the one in India, almost looks like the shape of a lotus flower. And then the Baha'i one, it's hard to describe the Baha'i one, but it's a very beautiful building. I think it was even built during the Depression time. But anyways, if anyone's interested, they can always type in Baha'i.org to learn more about the Baha'i faith. I'm not going to go into it here. But the reason I mention that is it's out of all the monotheistic faiths, the Baha'i faith is the only monotheistic faith I know of that recognizes Buddhism as a legit religion. But anyways, Baha'is try to get these major religions to talk with each other. Because how can you unite all the people of the world until you get the different religions to come together and not necessarily agree on everything, but at least start a conversation where you're being in communities together to take care of one another. So, but anyways, I see a lot of good things in all the different religions. I mean, I've learned a lot. Like I said, even though I'm not Buddhist, there's a lot of things I take in Buddhism that's pretty awesome.
Some great people on the night.
Yeah.
What a fantastic person. What was her name? Bing Carbonell.
So Jerry, I hope you don't mind me asking this. Did you grow up with any kind of faith, or did you, or what's your background?
Catholic.
Catholic, okay, cool. And it wasn't a big leap for me to marry a Catholic girl because like I said, I almost gave my life up to the church. So it's not like I don't know. Well, it's not like I don't know anything about Catholicism. So that's why it wasn't really that big of a deal to marry a Catholic girl because I knew.
What I was going to say was, what is it, Bing Carbonell? Is it a YouTube channel she's got?
Yeah.
Is it a podcast thing? Because I need to add her. If it has a YouTube, so it's a YouTube channel she's got.
Yep. Now,
So
if I remember, there's this one channel that reads books. I can't think of the channel name offhand. I don't think it's Scully's House of Thrillers. I don't think. But anyways, there's this one channel that reads. I think one of them took The Life of Pi, the book, and reads it and throws in sound effects and everything. And that's got to be a pretty cool channel to. Next time I come on live, I'll have to remember to mention that channel because I thought that was interesting. There's another channel that adds music and poetry.
Well, that's a good concept.
Yeah,
that's
there's
good.
another channel that does that. And then, of course, there's the other channels I jump on and follow.
Life of Pi is me, bro. Scully's House of Thrillers.
Oh, there you go. Yes, I'm the author that reads to you. Okay, cool. So, okay.
Nice.
I just couldn't remember if I remember correctly. So, Scully's House of Thrillers is the channel that reads people the stories.
That's good. That's
and
fantastic.
That's when he goes, that's me, bro. Thanks. Sorry, Scully. I'm always afraid I'm going to say that I'm going to mention the wrong channel that does a certain thing. So anyways, okay, here's the channel that I got up here. Scully's House of Thrillers. He does the reading of that. And I just thought that was amazing that person thought of that. That's one of the YouTube channel they wanted to run. I thought that's cool. And people love that,
Um,
you know. That's so cool. That's how cool is that? That channel's
that's
tuning into my
fantastic.
live, and here I'm talking about them. That's so cool.
That's good.
That's actually really
Right, feel
cool.
free to check out Ron again. So this is BNG Carbonell. That's the YouTube channel. So I can find her on YouTube.
Oh,
I thought
cool.
it was like a podcast. Thought she
That's
meant like it
cool.
was like so. Um,
Cool.
in Carbonell can go to my channel, leave a link or something, and then I can
Cool.
follow you back. It makes it easier, you know.
Yeah.
I will look for you if you don't. And I will be in your podcast. It's fine. It's not a problem.
I
I,
also
I
feel that they're
really,
both.
honestly, like the only thing I have to say about me ending up in a wheelchair, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not good that you end up in a wheelchair, but it's not the
Right.
end of the world, and life goes on.
Right.
I'm managing.
So,
Um,
do you mind me asking how is it? How did you end up in the wheelchair? If you don't mind me asking.
it was through a muscle disease called Guillain-Barré
Okay.
syndrome.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard it, Guillain-Barré syndrome,
Okay.
but it's just basically a weakening of the muscles. I still get like when I type stuff in the computer, I
Uh,
get sometimes I get twitches in my finger. It's but it's not bad. It's not all the time. It's far and few between, but I manage. The thing I look at, the thing is, me being in the wheelchair is, I don't look as it as the end of the world. There's people dying all over the world. There's people dying, and to be honest,
so
I don't
Jerry,
I'm that
what's
bad
what's
off. To be honest with you,
yeah,
when there's
what's
people dying all over the world,
right?
you know what I mean?
So what's
I
the
don't
difference?
think being in the wheelchair is the worst thing.
So what's the difference
You know,
between you having that and muscular dystrophy? What's the difference?
hold on a minute, I can't hear you. Let's cut
Mu-
off again.
So what's the difference between muscular dystrophy and what you have? Oh no. Oh no. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, oh well. Hopefully. Oh well. It's late too. It is twice. Wow, I've been going since 2 hours and 17 minutes. Cool. And here in Midwest Indiana, it is 12. It is. It's 12:36 here in Midwest Indiana. 12:36 in the morning. Oh no! What did I do? Wait a minute. What did I
I
do?
do apologise.
Oh, no problem.
My headphones kept. I don't.
So,
It's done it twice.
so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
So
This is
So Jerry, what's the difference between that and muscular dystrophy? Are there any similarities?
Oh, I honestly couldn't tell you.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
Um,
Well, not that I know everything there is to know about muscular dystrophy, you know. So it's a genetic thing that you ran into?
yeah, it's like I woke up one morning, I couldn't move my hands and legs, and I thought, what is
Wow.
going on here? It was really bad, I shouted at my ma because
So did
I'm
you have
thinking, what's going on? I
so
can't
did you
move.
so did you call for an ambulance and stuff and they come and got you and
No,
then oh.
Yeah, I called my man. She came in. She phoned well, a doctor, and he
Yeah.
came out. You need to get in the hospital. Do we
Yeah.
find out what's wrong? That kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was quite sudden. Like
Yeah.
you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, bang, you can't move anything.
So
You know what I mean?
right. So has anyone else in your family had it?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's kind of strange. It's just, I
Right.
mean, up to the lady this happening, my legs were getting heavy,
Right.
my muscles. You know, it's like it was getting very carrying bags. My legs were getting heavy, and I'm thinking, this is
Right.
not normal. It's not normal.
Right.
To
Right.
the
Yeah.
stage where, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was getting bad.
I think I would freak out, and I'm sure you probably did freak out, but
Oh, I
yeah,
did.
yeah, me, yeah, I'd be scared to death, and I'd freak out, and but I did you see what Shanti Uber typed? He said Jerry Boy is a really cool guy.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. I try my best to be nice. I'm really a nice person.
Yep,
I try to help everybody with the channel,
yep.
giving them shout outs and stuff. It's,
Why I can't help
you
but think of
know,
all the people that you could help who this happens to sometimes, and they like I said, they may come across this stream, you know. Um,
I mean, if anybody comes across this stream and they need any, like, I wouldn't say inspirational speak, but if they want to speak to me, it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, and I think it's because they'll feel like they're not alone. You know what I mean? Does
No, that's
this?
the thing. They're not alone. They're not alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I would never thought I'd end up in a wheelchair, but
yeah.
these things do happen. You know, it's.
Hmm.
I mean, when this happened to me, I thought that's my life over.
Yeah,
When I spoke to the doctor, he said, "No, your life's not over. It's just you will walk again," which
right.
was not true. I didn't know I'm not walking again, but I've just learned to live with it. You know.
So,
Yeah.
I know in science they're doing all kinds of things. I know Christopher Reed was doing all kinds of things. You know, the Superman guy.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, he was doing all
Yeah.
kinds of. Him and his organization were trying to raise all kinds of money to learn about people's nerves and stuff. And I know they're still doing science today about stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
because you
I
said
mean, I think,
did I hear you right? Did you say nerves?
yeah, it's a muscle disease and affects my eyes as well. Sometimes when I'm looking at the computer, my eyes get a bit bloody,
So do you know if
which a
they're
lot of people.
studying your particular type?
Well, to be honest, they say it's like 95 people, whatever, that get what I got,
Right.
which is Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's very, not many people get it. Just so happens I got it, so that's not good.
Now here's the
You
weird
know?
thing. It has nothing to do with wheelchair. So I don't mean to get off topic, but there's this weird thing, and I think it was showed it on the X Files one time. But it's where people basically burst into flames. It's
Oh
like,
my god.
oh
I'm
my
a bust
god,
daddy.
and I don't know what causes it, but they just, and I don't know how they figure out the person just bursts into flames. But that's yeah, there's been weird. I don't think it's very many cases, but it's really weird.
I
Or
don't want
two,
to bust any flames.
right? I'm just saying, yeah, that's the worst case scenario, right? If you burst into flames. But
Just
you-
imagine that. I'm going to make myself a macaroni, ma. And then the minute you bust in your face,
oh my God.
well, there goes your macaroni.
There goes your macaroni. Oh my God. I like what Scully's House of Thrills said. Sorry you got that, dealt that card, Jerry.
Well,
But I still
to
think
be
you can have,
honest,
like those rare people, you said it's a rare number of people that get it. I'm telling you, man, they could come across the stream and feel less alone. That's what I hope, at least. I
well,
hope
if
that,
anybody does, I mean, if they need any advice and how to cope with it, because I've like 9 year, nearly 10 year,
yeah.
I've managed to cope with it.
And
It's not a nice thing, but
I do love your attitude, because last time we were on live stream, you only touched about the wheelchair just a little bit, and then the rest of the time we were talking about our camp or your campfire days, and I had a ball. But anyways, I think you do have a terrific attitude about it, man. And but like I said, what I really hope is people that run into this. Um, oh wow, Scully says he has joint instability.
no,
Wow.
I honestly like coming on and having a chat with you. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. And if people need
Yeah.
any advice, definitely, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, it's not the end of the world.
The other reason I like talking to you, I like hearing that Scottish accent, because I'm Scots Irish. I have Scots, I have Irish, Scots, and English, but I love hearing that Scottish accent because, well, I'm a little jealous because I don't have a legit Scottish accent, but I have Scots in my background. So I really dig your. Well, anytime you've been on other live streams, I can tell it's you right away because I hear the Scottish accent.
yeah,
And then there's that one guy who's from Scotland that was on his late show, which is wild. But oh man, I do have work in the morning, so I'm gonna
I
have to wrap.
know you must be absolutely ready to go to sleep.
It is 12:45 in the morning, and I have to wake up like at 5:20 in the morning to go to work.
Well, that's been a good stream.
But hey,
So
dude, you're so good at joining me on my streams. I want to tell you, I appreciate you, because sometimes
hey,
you're one of the first people that come and join my stream, which I totally dig. And it's fun because I'm bouncing ideas off another person. It's wild when I mean, I can talk to the camera to myself, but it's just not the same. It's more, oh,
yeah, you want people to speak to you as well, you know,
and
rather
making
than
the
just
most of
speak to
life.
yourself. You know.
Oh yeah, I just want you to know I appreciate you for doing
Well,
that.
thank you very much.
Because I
What's
mean,
that, Ben Carbonell?
well,
Scottish accent is good.
but I also value your time, Jerry,
Thank you
and I
very much.
appreciate that you joined my stream. It makes me happy because I'm just saying you made another fellow Scots dude happy because you came up and say hey at me. And like I said, it's more fun to bounce ideas off another fellow YouTuber. So I think
Exactly.
that's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't always get on your live streams when you go live because sometimes I'm sleeping.
Oh,
It's
that's
just so
cool.
happens to have no sleep in the night, but what's that? Oh, thanks very much.
God bless you. Looking
Seeing you
forward to
coming
the three of
to
you.
the
Father's Day on June 20th.
Yeah, no
Three.
problem. I'll be there. Just send me a message. I'll add you. I
Cool.
believe that's a channel, so I'll add you.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Like,
seemed
no
really
problem.
she seemed really cool.
Very nice person.
Yeah. And she's
She's a
got a
very
good
nice person. She get a little bit
yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
Very nice
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. You know, I think it's okay to show emotion, you know. I think that's part of life, you know. Or like I said earlier,
Yeah, exactly.
in the live stream, even when no one's around, I acknowledge like, or well, sometimes one time I noticed I was saying it too much in during the day. I said, man, am I tired? Man, am I tired? And I caught myself in mid sentence about to say it again. I said, wait a minute, I got to switch it up. It's okay. I decided I'd let myself know enough times, and then I think when I finished the day, I finally went and crashed. So
You know, there's nothing wrong with crying. I mean, it doesn't
yeah.
make you like, you
Oh
know.
man,
I've actually cried myself.
right, Jerry,
I've thought,
I've
why
even
have I ended up in a
yeah.
wheelchair?
Yeah. Well, Jerry, I've even cried when I've been happy. So I cry when I'm sad, but I also cry when I'm happy, which is funny. A lot of people don't cry when they're happy. But yeah, I just think, and not only that, it's a human emotion. So, and I do believe it's a release. I believe when people cry,
Yes.
it is a release. And sometimes people feel really, or at least for me, I felt really good after I've had a good cry. It's always made me feel better. But yeah, like I said, if I ever do go through sucky times, it sometimes it's just good to, you know, I think what she said is a lot of live streams don't talk about it. And maybe that's the purpose of my live stream. Maybe it's to talk about stuff that people aren't talking about on the live streams. It makes it for more interesting live streaming, I think.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing though. I mean, it's like people were thinking, well, he's in the wheelchair. Don't want to ask him these questions. But listen, if anybody wants to ask me a question,
right,
quite comfortably answer it.
right.
And as far as what's her name, Ben
Hmm.
Carbonell, I'll definitely be in your podcast. They can ask me any questions they want or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what
You
I
know, it's
hope,
fine.
I hope the people. Why not only that? I think you're inspiring everybody, not just people that have what you have. I think, hell, you're inspiring me, dude. But I do think it's important for people not to feel alone. So I really do hope people reach out to you, especially if they're going through what you've gone through, or maybe they just learned they just gone through it just today. I do hope they reach out to you, Jerry, because I think you can. You're one of the few people that can actually tell them I know what they're going. You could actually, since you're actually going through it, you can actually say, and it in your words would mean more because you actually are going through it. So I just think
Yeah,
like me, for instance. I don't think I could say all the most beautiful language in the world, and I don't think they're going to believe me. But you, since you're actually in it, you're I want to say your words would take more cred in the situation. So I guess that's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well, if anybody needs any advice, and I would say comforting, but if they need to know anything, I'd be willing, definitely. It
Mm-hmm.
was not easy when it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Very distraught when I found out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I was told was, yeah, you will walk again, which was not true because
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the wheelchair
Mm-hmm.
almost 10 years later. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kind of learned to live with it, you know. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
see, the way I look at it is there's people worse off in this world than me. There's people dying all over the world, can't get water, can't get food.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm lucky. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I'm lucky. I mean, you know, it's just, do you know, honestly, I would like to help. I would love to help other people in the world that are suffering, that
Mm-hmm.
can't get food and stuff. Honestly, if I ever won the lottery, I would definitely donate every single penny of that to charity, to food, water, and stuff. Because money is not everything in this life.
I
That's the way I look at it.
I agree with you. There's been some really wealthy people that have suffered from major depression, and I mean their wealth's getting them therapy, but it still's not fixing their depression. So um, I think Mike Wallace talked about it on 60 Minutes, and he also talked about it on some other shows. And I guess he, since he doesn't share it with well, a lot of people didn't know he suffered from major depression. So, um, so it's neat when people from different walks do talk about it. So that way it lets people know they're not alone, which is really awesome.
Here, hold on a minute. Bang, you guys are more welcome to join me on TSC Talk Show Classic. Was that on YouTube or is it what? I'm confused.
Join
Because I
me.
would like to join it if I can help people. I'm definitely up for it.
That's cool. That sounds like a true Scotsman. They're always that way. You're definitely a true Scotsman, Jerry. Because I
Thanks
always
very
hear
much.
Scots dudes talking that way.
No,
You're a
I honestly think
brave
I
heart.
like to help everybody. Well, as you know, my channel's vlogs. I do the odd
Yeah,
live. It's very short,
yeah,
and whatever. Yeah, it's just I like helping people. That's what the world's about.
yeah.
Helping people, and
Or as I like to say, you're a brave heart lad.
yes, Mel Gibson, Braveheart.
There you go. Wade, dude, I gotta run. But
Yes.
thanks for joining me on my live, and
Hey, listen,
I'll talk to you
it's a
real soon.
pleasure to be.
Oh man, the
And
pleasure,
thanks for letting me on your live. I appreciate that.
dude.
And
The pleasure's all mine, man. I
you're a
appreciate it.
fantastic person. I'll always support you in my channel and give you a shout out. And you're a
Cool.
fantastic person. And you have yourself a good night. And I will catch you
Yeah,
later.
I appreciate
Catch
your
you
support,
later.
man. Take care.
No problem, brother. Catch you later. Goodbye. Take
Peace.
care.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
Thanks. Wow, man. Jerry's and I'm finally saying his channel name right. Sorry, Jerry, when I wasn't saying your channel name right, bro. And yeah, man, you are super inspiring. I didn't even finish my fruit. So when I kick off this live, I'm gonna finish my bowl of fruit there. Man, the talk was so good, man. So here's the other thing I do whenever I'm wrapping up my live streams. I'm gonna thank you, Andrew, for hanging out with Brother Lone Wolf. Thanks for coming up on panel. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Benin Carbonell, for being on panel with me. And also, Ben Carbonell, thanks for sharing your heart. I could hear the emotion in your voice, which was, yeah, that was pretty amazing, hearing the emotion in your voice. I'm humbled by the things that Jerry was saying. And I also was humbled by the things that Andrew was saying on the live stream as well. And at the end of each one of my live streams, I try to show all the comments that had been in the live. And it's a way of thanking the channels for showing up to my live stream. So I'm just thanking you guys for that. So, yeah, I'm just showing your guys' comments here. So, anyways, I'm showing off your guys' comments at the end of my live stream. And it's a way to thank these channels. And anyone who comes across these live streams, if you're not familiar with some of these channels whose comments I'm showing here, please give those channels a look. And if you like their content, please like and subscribe to their channel. And of course, if you like the content of my channel, please consider liking and subscribing to the Lone Wolf Bushcraft YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, occasionally I like to, the majority of my live streams usually are open chat. So I don't mind talking about certain subjects that maybe the other channel live streams are not touching. So yeah, I don't mind doing that. That's kind of cool. I actually like doing that. So yeah. Actually, I kind of like that idea. The idea of touching topics the other channels may not want to talk about. So I'm actually enjoying that. But I'm showing off your guys' comments here before I kick off or before I end the live stream here. And like I said, the reason I'm doing it is to show my appreciation for you guys. Sorry, didn't mean to get a, just want to go down all the comments here. And like I said, it's just a way to thank the channels. And it's only a couple minutes before it turns 1 a.m. here. I don't do this at every end of every live stream, but on some of my live streams, I like showing off all the comments before I end my live stream. Like I said, it's just a way to thank those channels for stopping by. And because the way I look at it, they took time out of their day to come to my live stream, and it's just a way of thanking them for showing up to the live stream. I appreciate every one of you guys that showed up and typed something in the chat. I appreciate that. And once again, I appreciate Andrew. I appreciate Jerry. I also appreciate Ben Carbonell. God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So, yeah, she really shared her heart out. So make sure you give her channel a look at. And if you like the content of her channel, please give her a like and a subscribe. And same way for Out Until Further Notice. Where are you, Andrew? I want to show your channel thing here, Andrew. There you go. Yep. Make sure you check out the channel Out Until Further Notice. And if you like his content, please consider liking and subscribing to his channel. What's up? Here's the one that's just coming in. Mega love shout out to Pohost. Hey. Miramar HK vlog. All right. Yeah, I'm getting ready to end this vlog. I'm getting ready to end this live stream. Yeah, we had a really awesome panel tonight. Yeah, super awesome panel. And thank you for everyone that came up on panel. Much love to you guys. Thanks for all of you down in the chat. Much love to you as well. And this is your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft, signing off. Yeah, hope you guys have a good day tomorrow. And yeah, love you guys. Take care. Peace. Later, Gators. Take care, everybody. Peace. And once again, thanks for enjoying the Lone Wolf Bushcraft After Dark live show. Take care, everybody. Peace. Later, Gators. Peace.